Hey, it's Matt Moscona. You found it. It's AFR LSU, your home for daily content on your favorite team, Fighting Tigers of LSU. And we're proud to be presented by BetUS, where this football season, get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000. Be sure to use the promo code YouTube150. Now, enjoy the video. Always appreciate a couple minutes from former All-SEC linebacker Darry Beckwith, good enough to join us now, 2007 national champ. Darry, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks. We always appreciate the time. Hey, Brian Kelly made some comments at his press conference on Monday that I thought were pretty eye-opening. He was asked how Blake Baker's turned the defense around, and he didn't talk about X's or O's, defensive alignment, anything like that. He effectively said he took the time to get to know his players. He's invested in these players, and they know he's invested in them. Does that make sense to you that just that relationship can maximize these players more than alignment or talent or any of that sort of stuff?
It does, because you think about last year with Matt House, the thing that was coming out of the building is that Matt House didn't take the time to build a relationship with any of the players. And so they had a disconnect. So when you have a disconnect with the coach personally, you have a disconnect on the field when it comes to running schemes and running the game plan. So what Blake Baker is doing is he connected with these guys on a personal level. So when they're connected with him on a personal level, they're going to be connected on the field when it comes to playing. And that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing a lot of guys playing on one accord. A lot of guys are having fun, and they're doing that because they want to play hard for the coach who got to know them on a personal level.
Did you have a coach like that?
No.
You never had a coach that you felt
you
had?
You talking about in college? Or just
or anywhere. So you never had that kind of relationship with the coach?
No. Honestly, Matt, no. It sounds terrible. It sounds bad, but no, I didn't. High school was a little bit different. Obviously, went to Parkview Baptist, had Coach Guillard and Coach Jay Maye, my defensive coordinator, and so those guys got to know me on a personal level. They got to know my family. I mean, they came to my high school graduation. They came to my graduation party. So they got to know me for 4 years. But when I got to college, I never had a coach that got to know me on a personal level, per se. It was just business nonstop 24/7 when I was in college. The only thing we went over were game plans. Now, what I would say this, if a situation came up or something that I needed or an issue that was going on, they would take care of it and handle it. But it wasn't. We were going to sit down and sing Kumbaya and go drink tea and crumpets. Like that wasn't going to happen. It was just a different time, I think, back then than it is now. You have to build a relationship with these kids now, especially with the NIL era. When I was playing, we didn't have NIL. We had stipend checks that we got $200 a month. So it really wasn't that big a relationship that we had to build with our coaches. It was strictly business. But I think in today's game, in today's era, it is imperative. It's a must to build a relationship with these kids on an individual level.
Hey, we'll get right back to the video, but love telling you about our partners over at BetUS. If you love the sports bet like I do, this couldn't be easier, and they're giving you, our viewer, an awesome opportunity, a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit and 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000 when you use the code YouTube150. Let me show you how easy it is as we make our bets. You go to the football tab. We'll choose the college football page. It'll load all the games for the college football weekend. Now, we know that LSU is going to play at 6:30, so we're going to scroll all the way down to the night window to find LSU taking on Texas A&M at Kyle Field. There it is. Line was 3, down a half a point. So the Tigers, 2.5-point favorite. I think the wrong team is favored. I think LSU is going to win this football game, so you better believe I'll take those 2.5 points with the Tigers. We'll come over here, enter our wager amount, $25. We'll place the bet. It's going to ask me to confirm. Tap, tap. We are confirmed. It'll give me my deposit slip, and there we are, right there, a confirmation. LSU plus 2.5 against Texas A&M. It's just that easy. You could do it in seconds as well over at BetUS. Remember, 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit, 125% on your next two deposits up to $2,000 when you use the code YouTube150. Now, enjoy the rest of the video. Darry, why is Whit Weeks so good?
Dude, he has a motor. And when I say he has a motor, it is nonstop. He is coming to a place where Whit Weeks, right now, the way he is playing is definitely trending to be a first-team All-American. And it is fulfilling to see the progress that he has made from the beginning of the season. I can remember in the South Carolina game, I think the big running back from South Carolina busted a long touchdown run because I think Whit Weeks took the wrong angle, or I think he took the lineman on with the wrong shoulder. And to see his progress and to see where he is now is night and day. And I think it has a lot to do with repetitions, Matt. I think sometimes when you're playing sporadically and you come in certain part of the game, then they take you out, then you come in another part of the game and take you out, you can never get in a rhythm and you can never get in the flow. Right now, he is in a rhythm and he is in a flow. Whit Weeks won that football game against Arkansas. If he doesn't make that play, that tip ball and the interception, I don't know how that game turns out, because our offense, for whatever reason, they were kind of stagnant after the first drive of the game. Also first drive, but they were kind of stagnant after that. By him making that play and getting the ball in scoring position for our offense to punch it in, Whit Weeks was the reason we won that football game. He's playing comfortable. He's playing loose. He knows what he's doing. Anytime you know what you're doing, you can play fast. You can play loose. Another thing he does, he can hear you on the TV screen, because I think I yelled at him a couple of times. He missed a couple of tackles in the hole. And, dude, after I yelled at him, I kid you not, he ended up making a sack on the quarterback when he was spying. And then the next play later, he scraped down the line of scrimmage on a little sweep play from the running back, and he just squared this dude up and laid him out. Whit Weeks brings a lot of energy. And another thing I love about him is his teammates love him, Matt. You see on social media, you see all over how much they love Whit Weeks and how they galvanize around him. It's kind of like when Joe Burrow got carried off the field against Alabama. Anytime teammates carry a player off the field, that speaks volumes, and I can tell everyone loves Whit Weeks' personality, and they love the way that he lays it out all on the line. And the guy can flat out play football. He's only going to continue to get better. He's just a sophomore. Whit Weeks is turning into a phenomenal player, and I'm just so glad I'm able to see this and see his flourishing into one of the best linebackers, not only in the SEC, but in the country.
Darry Beckwith's with us. Hey, after Weeks and Greg Penn, the next two guys right now are two true freshmen, Devon and Xavier Atkins. We saw both of them play a bit on Saturday. Did you have any observations watching those two guys the last couple weeks?
Well, Devon Keys, I think, stepped in tremendously when Greg Penn went out for a couple of series for some injuries. He stepped in and played tremendous. I think a guy like him, you look at Devon Keys in high school, he was a tackling machine. I think he had almost 400 tackles at his high school in Texas. The guy can play football. He has a nose full of football. I think he picked up a half a sack. He got a fumble recovery. So anytime that a true freshman comes in, Matt, especially a linebacker, you get nervous a little bit, because the linebacker is the quarterback of the defense, and Greg Penn has a lot of experience playing football. So when he went out, you can get nervous, but it wasn't a dropout. They were still making stops. I've seen Xavier Atkins, he's the guy's a tackling machine. He transferred from Jonesboro Hodge, goes to Texas because he wants to play bigger boy football, does a phenomenal job. And when I see a linebacker, when I see the way they move and how they get moved sideline to sideline, I saw that from Xavier Atkins, even the Ole Miss game. A lot of people may not pay attention to it. I think he got in right before the half.
Yeah,
it was going to halftime. He came down field. I think they threw a little route to the running back. Came down here really fast and made a tackle. So he has explosiveness. And anytime as a linebacker in today's game, especially with the RPO offenses, if you're explosive as a linebacker and you can run and cover, you're going to do great things. And I think right now, the linebacker group at this point, I can say I'm satisfied with it. At the beginning of the year, I can tell you I wouldn't be able to tell you that I wouldn't be as happy with the linebacker core. But I think now with Whit Weeks playing better and Greg Penn, we have to give him his flowers as well. The guy's been playing tremendous, and they have two young guys behind them. They provided some depth as well. So Blake Baker has these guys playing at a high level.
Go a step further than on Greg Penn. What has impressed you this year? Where has he improved?
He's playing faster. He's playing faster, Matt. There's no question about it. I think last year sometimes he played a little bit slow, and it's not that he's a slow linebacker. He played slow because he probably wasn't quite sure what he was doing. If you don't know what you're doing, especially in the SEC, and you got a 6'2", 25-pound running back coming downhill at you, let me tell you something. You got to make a quick decision. And I think now with Blake Becker, he understands the defense. He understands what he's doing. And anytime a player understands what he's doing, he's able to play fast. I saw one against Arkansas. They ran a crossing route, and he came down so hard, so fast, and made the play on a crossing route, something I've never seen Greg Penn do. And as a whole, the defense is playing a whole lot faster than they have been in the past. I always compare LSU to other SEC defenses. I see guys flying around. I see them playing physical. I see them playing nasty. And I thought that was something LSU was lacking defensively in the past. Now, these last two games against Ole Miss and Arkansas, these guys are flying around. They're getting after it. They're playing physical. They're playing for each other. And Greg Penn is a guy who I believe has made himself some money this year, and he's going to be even better on the next level, in my opinion.
Hey, Darry, are they okay with just Whit Weeks and Greg Penn and then two true freshmen? Is that enough, or would they need West Weeks back if and when he's able to play? Because there's been some talk about him not playing for the remainder of the season to maintain another year of eligibility.
I think they'll be okay with it right now. I really do. I think right now, Matt, they're playing with such a confidence and they're playing with such a comfort level. I believe they will be okay with playing those two true freshmen if need be. If they didn't, I don't think that it would be even talked about playing West Weeks. And I think now Brian Kelly is realizing that for him to even be better in the future, he has to get these guys' feet wet. You know, Brian Kelly, he's always been a stickler about playing older guys. He didn't want to play young guys. He wanted to play guys who've been in the program a long time. So I think he's realizing that in order for him to be successful in the future, he has to get these younger guys going. I think he comes to that realization, comes to that decision. If we want to be better in the future, then we got to get these young guys prepared. And I think Devon Keys and Xavier Atkins can definitely fill those shoes if need be.
Hey, Darry, how much better can this defense get
This
year?
A whole lot better. I think they just scratched the surface. It's just like I always talk about it. Once a quarterback gets in the zone, once like a basketball player gets in the zone, it's hard to get them out of it. All right. I think right now defensively, they are in the zone, and they only can get better. I think Baker is doing a lot of different things to get guys involved. And not only is Whit Weeks just making plays, I mean, you have guys all over that field making plays. Suggs, the defensive tackle, the transfer, made plays. Parrish Shan made plays. The way that Zai Alexander is playing the cornerback is tremendous. You got Ashton Stamps. All these guys are improving. Sage Ryan made plays last week at the safety position. So I think these guys are playing with confidence. They're playing with each other, and they playing with swagger. That's something that was missed was in the past LSU defenses, like they just walked on the field and they just knew that we were better than everybody else. It was almost that borderline of like not cockiness, but you know what? We are the best defense in the country. I'm not saying they're there yet, but they're oozing with that confidence now. They're oozing with that swagger a little bit. You know, they're kind of letting their hair down. They're having one chin strap unbuckled. You know, they're playing with a little bit more swag, man. And I think if they continue to do that, they can get better and continue to improve and make strides the way that they should make. And hopefully, I'm not saying they're going to make it to the playoffs, but if they continue to play well and the way our offense is playing, LSU will put themselves in a position to get into the playoffs.
Last thing for you, Darry. There's been a lot of talk about how different the defense looks since the Harold Perkins injury. Obviously, that changed their numbers. It changed their structure because of how versatile a player Harold was. When you watch them, what are they doing differently, alignment, functionally, than they did when Harold was on the field?
They're not trying to force one person to do one thing. I think with Harold Perkins, with a guy like that who has so much attention behind him, and rightfully so, he's extremely talented. And this is not a knock on Harold Perkins at all. But when you have so much attention on one guy, I think you try to force feed him so much, and you're focusing on Harold Perkins to make a play. You're focused on putting Harold Perkins in a position to make a play. And when it happens, other guys around him are just kind of stagnant and they're standing still. And so they're not able to come into themselves to play to a level that they know they're capable of playing to individually. And so that's what Blake Baker is doing. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, everybody is involved. I mean, the guy had a power eye on defense. Which
Have you ever seen that?
I have never seen it in my life. I was like, okay, Blake Baker, you're showing out right now. Like, you're showing out.
Well, we did see two linebackers trip over each other on that play, by the way, in the backfield.
I did. I'm not gonna bring that up. I'm not gonna bring it up. But man, to see a power eye, and when you're creative like that, what that does, that brings joy to the game. You know how fun it is for those kids, 18, 19-year-olds, to sit in a power eye on defense and just come downhill, full steam ahead. You go this way, I go that way. So he's getting guys involved. I think last week against Ole Miss, he brought a cat blitz, which is a corner blitz. I've never seen that. I haven't seen a corner blitz since Dave Aranda, and I kid you not. So he's bringing so many different elements to this game. He's getting people involved. And so I think that's why, they're so successful right now without Harold Perkins. No diss on Harold Perkins, extremely talented, but they were trying to get him involved too much, and now they get all 11 guys involved in the game plan.
Darry Beckwith, former Tiger All-SEC linebacker, good enough to join us for a couple minutes here, man. Always great to chat. We appreciate the time, man.
I appreciate you, Matt. Have a good one, brother.
Thanks so much for watching the video. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit the bell so you're notified when we post a new video, and remember to support BetUS, where right now you can get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000. Be sure to use that promo code YouTube150.